Hey, what's up, guys? It's JRUSSO. It's March 11th. We have a 4-game NBA slate, and I'm actually pretty excited about it, even though at first glance, some of these matchups don't look that great. I don't know why, but I tend to have better outings on small slates. I've been talking about it for like months. And then we have a 12-game slate yesterday, and I absolutely, it's like swing and a miss. Like this was rough. Let's talk about it. Josh Giddey, he cashed. He stays hot. Goes against Indiana. They end up getting a pretty convincing win, 121-103. Took him over 35.5 PRA, went for 43. All right, Desmond Bane. He had the minutes. I think he had, 35 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, in that range, and just shot awful. Played really bad. Didn't really assist the ball much either. Barely got a reasonable amount of rebounds. I think he had 6 rebounds. Terrible outing. Went for 20. We took him over 37.5. Emmanuel quickly started so hot. I think he was if I'm not mistaken, at the half, he was at 20 or 22 or something. I'm like, oh, good. We are in good shape here. Had a solid game, cashed 3 3-pointers, was getting rebounds, assists, and then just the gas ran out right there. With one more 3 would have cashed it. Another bucket, another rebound, and then LaMelo Ball, really slow start, and ended up. It just came down to his shooting. He got the minutes, 36 minutes. 6 rebounds, 10 assists, should all be there, but it's not gonna help going 5 of 21 from the field. He was 2 of 12 from beyond the arc, so he had 15 points. So a little bit better of a shooting percentage, and we would have cashed that. But some of you were a little nervous about LaMelo, and you had mentioned taking Miles Bridges, and I said to you guys I was a little nervous about Miles Bridges because of his head-to-head history. He had never done it, but good for you guys. I hope that you took that, and I hope you cashed, because Miles Bridges went for 35 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. So if you took Miles Bridges' PRA, he absolutely crushed it. On points alone, he beat his PRA. But yeah, LaMelo put up 21 shots. You can't ask for more. Just could not sink anything. So real bummer. But again, 12-game slate. For whatever reason, this happens to me. Not that it's always 1 in 3, on bigger slates, but the success rate for the smaller slates has always been a little bit better. I don't know if it's less options to choose from, easier to identify the plays that end up cashing. I'm not sure, but let's talk about what we've got for today. I'm going 2 units flex on Prizepicks and 2 units flex on Underdog. I was going to go power on Underdog, but you get a 6x on Underdog for the flex on a 4-man. So I'm like, you know what? I can be disciplined here and still flex it, just so we get a little something if we go 3 of 4. So let's talk about it. We're going to go Bogdan Bogdanovich over 2.5 assists. This is a popular play on Prizepicks right now. Sometimes that might make us a little bit nervous. But I mean, the data is there. It looks great on Outlier. So I'll break that down. It's just 3 assists is all he needs. And we're going to go back to the well with Brook Lopez, 17.5 PRA. We can take a look at his fantasy score, or we can talk about his fantasy score. I can still sort of break that down, even though it's not available yet, but I'll look at his blocks and steals for you guys, because if by the time you're watching this, the fantasy score is available, that might be interesting too, with all the shots that are going to be put up against Indiana. I think he might be due for some blocks and some defensive upside. All right, Cade Cunningham, 14.5 rebounds and assists. And then we're going to go Trey Murphy. I'm taking a Pelican. You would think it's Zion, because I'm we've been cashing Zion for 4 videos, but I think it's Trey Murphy time tonight against the Clippers. We're going to go over 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. So if you guys have not signed up for Underdog yet, use my code JRUSSO. It's just my first initial, my last name, JRUSSO, all one word, no spaces. And they're going to give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash, plus a free pick to help you cash your first slip. And I took Valanciunas last night. PRA, was feeling good about it. Got it even cheaper on Underdog. and he fell short as well because that game got absolutely out of hand. But I'm going to be starting a new streak slip. I'll post that today on the community section of the YouTube, so make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube because I post slips on there as well. When I can't do a full video, I'll just post a slip. And I've been posting streaks plays, so I'm going to put a new one on there today. So if you want to tail that new slip, make sure you use code JRUSSO if you haven't signed up for Underdog yet. Up to 1,000 in bonus cash, a free pick to help you cash your first slip, and you can come tail this streak slip. All right, so if you guys don't mind, do me a favor, like the video, drop me a comment. It helps me with the algorithm. I appreciate the support, guys. So yeah, this is what I just can't ignore. I don't care. I know people think that there's like, the community play, everybody's on it. It's a jinx, whatever. I don't care. I'm going to take it. I'll go down with the community if I need to. I mean, look at this. 8 out of his last 10. He's cashed this. Some of these games back here. So this is, this is still with the Clippers. So yeah, it's like he had like a 4-game stretch here where 3 of the 4 he went for 5+ assists. And then most recently we got 5 straight games with at least 3 assists. But what really sells me on it is, first of all, we have a soft matchup, 27th in assists allowed. Let's go specifically to shooting guards, 25th. So still soft. And then let's look at the head-to-head. I mean, he's done it in back-to-back matchups. One with Atlanta. Actually, both of these were with Atlanta. So different team, but still cashed it back-to-back. Let's look at the minutes. 36 minutes and 24 minutes. What's he been getting lately? 31 minutes on average. So some of these are all the way up to 39 minutes. Some of these are down at 22 minutes, and he's still, he had 4 assists against Sacramento in 22.8 minutes. He's averaging 5.8 potential assists a game over this 5-game stretch. So it's just checking all the boxes. Let's see this note from Outlier. He's exceeded 2.5 assists in 16 of his last 19 games versus bottom 10 defenses for assists allowed. So he capitalizes in these matchups. 3.6 is what he's averaging over a 19-game stretch on an 84% hit rate. So, in some of these games, like I mentioned, we got 7 assists, 6 assists, 6 assists. Like he's dominating this 2.5 line in some of these games. One was more recently on February 26th against the Bulls. He went for 6. So I'm just gonna roll this. This is probably gonna become a goblin later, or it will either become it'll just be taken away, or it'll be like, hey, you can take a 1.5 goblin, or you can take a 3.5 demon. That's what I'm guessing. I don't think this 2.5 lasts all the way up until tip off. So we're going to just start there and try to get this slip rolling. Averaging 31 minutes a game right now. 2.8 fouls, not getting in foul trouble. We need Bogdan to start us off right here. Let's take a look at Daily Grind. See what they think about this. Whoops. Come on, you can do it. Computer's moving a little slow right now. Daily Grind asked me if they can have my cookies. No, cannot have my cookies. Okay. Bogdan. They don't like the 2.5 assists. So once again, you guys got to go with your gut. They like his points over 10. They like his points rebounds over. They don't like the full PRA. They like the rebounds over 2.5. Not feeling the assists. They have that slightly favored to the under, 50.28% odds to the under, -120. So it's just slightly, but you have some pivot options here, and I'll show you guys what those look like. Let's look at his points rebounds real quick. Okay, they do look solid. He's gone 4 out of his last 5, and then 1 more bucket would have cashed his most recent outing against Sacramento. So why don't we like the whole PRA? The head-to-head looks solid too. 15, 26, and 12. 1 more bucket would have cashed it. Who's this with? Yeah, this is back with Atlanta. So rebounds. If you wanted that 2.5 rebounds. All of his lines are just low. Even if you go full PRA, what's that set at? The full PRA looks good. 14.5. That's the only thing we've got 5 straight. Well, the same with the assists. But 2.5 assists is just, I'm doing it. I'm going to have to do it. But the PRA does look good to me, even though Daily Grind doesn't like it. Yeah, everyone's got it favored to the under. Like a decent amount of juice. Some of these minus 130s to the under. DraftKings 50-50 shot. So yeah, you guys go with your gut. I think that I'm going 2.5 assists. They like his points over. They like his points rebounds over. I think the PRA still looks good at 15.5. But yeah, I mean, that's just a low line. Dude's getting 31 minutes, and Bogdan is not like a slouch. Dude is a good basketball player. All right, Brook Lopez. Okay, so we got a little bit of expected value here from Outlier. They like this play. EV plus, if we look at the matchup overall, 20th in points allowed, 21st in rebounds allowed, 14th in assists allowed. Let's see how it matches up with centers. 17th in points allowed, 21st in rebounds allowed, 5th in assists allowed. I'm already thinking about the defense here because I do wish I could have his fantasy score in this. But here's a note from Outlier. Oh no, this is just the head-to-head. I thought that was a note. That is it. That is just his head-to-head. Am I for sure? Yeah. Wow. Okay, so look at the history here. 10 out of 13 games he's exceeded this against Indiana. 77% hit rate. In these head-to-head matchups, he averages 32.5 minutes, 9.1 rebound chances, 2.5 potential assists, 51% from the field on 11.7 attempts, and then 4.2 attempts from beyond the arc, cashing 1.4 a game over, how many games did they say? 13 games? Okay, 33%. We know he's an even better three-point shooter than that when he gets hot. He's capable of getting into rhythm. And then 68% from the free throw line, doesn't get there often. 2.5 attempts over these 13 games. Let's look at a little bit more recently, though, because I think we're getting this lower line because he hasn't been hitting. But we do have like a trend going here. Let's see, are the minutes correlating? They are a little bit. 23, 27, 30. And then, this game against Cleveland, he was almost there when his minutes came back, but yeah, didn't quite get it done. How was his shooting that night? He didn't take that many shots. He only took 5 shots. He shot 40%. Did he shoot any threes? 25% from beyond the arc, 1 of 4. So yeah, I think that just by sheer volume, let's look at this over under. Just by sheer volume, when you're playing Indiana, they play at a really fast pace. That's why we have a higher over under. So if 233.5, pretty high. It's not the craziest over under, but that's definitely not like a low scoring game. 3.5 point spread favoring the Bucks. But if the Pacers are playing at that faster pace, that means more shots are being put up. That means more opportunities to block the ball. That means more possessions. That means Brook Lopez is likely going to have more attempts in this game than he's had in the last couple of games, is what I'm thinking. I want to get back here to the 10, 14 range. Like, this was just like a weird little situation he went through. 1, 4, and 5. So okay, let's bounce it back up here to the 10. That's what I'm hoping for tonight. In case you have the fantasy score available by the time this is out, I'm curious what it'll be at, because yeah, he hasn't cleared this 2.5 line in 5 straight games, but he's gotten 2 in every single one. So that's 6 fantasy score right there. You get 3 points for every block and 3 points for every steal. Let's look at his history with blocks and steals. Okay, so maybe not. He historically actually is a little bit dicey. I mean, he was killing it at like early on in 2023, and the 2023 season, he was. I mean, I bet you. No, I guess not. I was thinking maybe some of this was like a playoff matchup or something, but it wasn't. But yeah, as of late, the more I look at it, he just hasn't. I mean, the most recent head-to-head was December 31st, so New Year's Eve. He had 0, and we do kind of have a different Brook right now. Let's see. Yeah, his defense really has kind of slowed down, though. I mean, still, you can't complain with like at least 1 block or steal in every game, and then 5 straight with at least 2. Giannis, game time decision. Pat Connaughton, Damian Lillard. Bobby Portis is still out. That's another factor, is Bobby Portis being out. That wasn't the case in these head-to-heads back here. So I would be curious to see what his fantasy score is at. if we're getting 17.5 PRA, they probably have his fantasy score at maybe 24, I would guess, which I think I would take that. But yeah, we'll keep talking about the PRA though. Let's get back to the PRA for a minute. Okay, we talked about the matchup. So yeah, averaging 28.5 minutes a game over this 5-game stretch, 14.5 rebound chances, 3 potential assists, shooting 50% from the field. He just needs to take more shots. Even this 14 attempt game, 36% is not the worst outing. He can do better than that. You can see this game against Dallas, he was at 60%. But I just want to see, I mean, even in this game against Orlando, he shot 75%, but he just didn't take that many attempts, then 40% more recently. So this is the perfect opportunity in this fast-paced game. A lot of possessions, a lot of shots. So that's part of the reason too I am intrigued by the fantasy scores, just this possessions. There's going to be a lot more of them tonight, a lot more shots being put up. So let's take a look here at Brook Lopez on Daily Grind real fast. Okay, you type in Brook and they're like, did you mean Nick Claxton? No, didn't, bro. Okay, there we go. Points, rebounds, they like over 16. They have it at a 51.65% odds to the over minus 126. They like his points over, not feeling the points assists, not feeling the assists. They are feeling the rebounds. They're not showing the PRA. Let me refresh. Okay, well, they like the rebounds. Let's see if we can just add this up here. Okay, so they probably would not like the PRA because they don't like the points assists at 12. So yeah, they wouldn't. If you're getting the PR at 16, well, no, I'm wrong here. They probably still wouldn't like it, but are his assists at 1.5? They gotta be. They don't like the assist over 1.5. But we are getting a fair value here. If they have the PR at 16 and they love that to go over, best play for Brook, and then you just add the 1.5, that's 17.5, that's the PRA we're getting. So if you don't want the assists attached, just don't take them. You got to build out and do what you want. But let's just see what his assists have looked like over this last 5. Okay. So yeah, if you want that PR, just take the PR because he has not been assisting the ball as much lately. He was like doing okay there for a minute. Yeah, he was starting to pick it up a little bit. It's just these last 2 games. Let's look at the head-to-head. Okay, the head-to-head doesn't look bad though. Last 2 games he went for 3, and then he's got this little dip here in this 3-game stretch, and then he has 3 straight games with 3. Some of this is dating back, excuse me, to last season, so you don't want to think too deeply about it, but yeah, I'll take that back-to-back head-to-heads where he went for 3, and we're getting, it's just a 1.5. That's all we're adding for the PRA. But yeah, I don't blame you at all if you want to take, yeah, like this game here. Yeah. So yeah, the history there, the assists don't look bad at all when you look at it in this context. But it isn't pivotal. If you wanted the points, rebounds, that would be totally fine, I think. So I get why Daily Grind has this juiced over because, yeah, he hasn't been super active lately with the assists. All right, Cade Cunningham, who has been super active with assists lately. Let's start with his note. He's always good with assists in the ball, but he's exceeded 14.5 rebounds and assists in 7 of his last 8 games at home. So this is a home game, and he's 88% hit rate at home and averaging 16.4. So almost 2 RA higher is what he's averaging than the line we're getting. So that makes me comfortable with it. On top of that, he's got a very soft matchup here. 30th in rebounds allowed, 25th in assists allowed. Let's look specifically to point guards. A little bit tighter. 21st in rebounds allowed, 23rd in assists allowed. Let's look at the head-to-head. 3 straight games of getting it done. His most recent outing against Washington, he went for 20. He went 10-10, and then 8-7, 4-12, And even this game where he missed, he still went for 5 and 7. So not a terrible game, but it just didn't hit this line. So let's do this. Let's go 2024. I'm just kind of curious what his 2024 looks like. So without touching anything, he's at a 57% hit rate on the season for this line, 34 out of 60 games. Let's check those home games. It bumps up quite a bit, 68%. So 19 out of 28 home games, he's gotten it done. And looks like 8 out of his last 10. Let's take a look. Yeah, 8 out of his last 10 home games, and then he went for 20 against Washington last time they played. So this looks good to me. Let's see. Let's take a look at Daily Grind. Okay, they like his points, assists over. They like the rebounds and assists to go over. They have it at 50.58% odds to hit the over, minus 120. Yeah, it looks like the highest juice is like minus 125. Some 50-50 takes, but nothing favoring the under. They also like his PRA over 42 if you wanted to just, go for all of it. 50.54% odds hit the over, minus 120. They like his points over. Let's see. Yeah, only there's some heavily juiced to the over on the PRA, and then there's some that are just slightly favored to the under, like FanDuel. But in case you guys want to take that PRA, I'll show it to you real quick. The matchup on points is surprisingly tough to point guards. Yeah, this actually looks a little steep, doesn't it? He's only cleared it 3 out of his last 10 games, and then the points matchup, 5th in points allowed to point guards. So they're actually pretty tough. Let's see the head-to-head. Yeah, that's a little high, 42.5. He's only done it once against them, even in good games. 21 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. That's a great game. How was his shooting percentage in that game? He shot 47% from the field on 15 attempts. He shot 50% from beyond the arc. So this is just really inflated. I don't like the PRA. It's almost in that realm of me considering taking the under. I'm not doing that, but I'm just telling you guys that's how much I don't like the PRA. Is if I was wanting to take an under, I would say okay, this dude shot 50% from beyond the arc. He had 15 attempts, shot 47%, put up 10 rebounds, 10 assists in that last game on 30 minutes and did not clear this. So 42.5 is kind of high. But if we just start taking those rebounds and assists at 14.5, I think those look money, especially if we went for 20. That's a totally different story. So that's what I'm rolling. Yeah, but you do have some options here if you wanted to pivot to something else. They like his assists over 9. They like the rebounds and assists. They like the PRA over. They like the points over 27.5. They think he's going off tonight. He shot... let me go back here and look at this for a second. Let's look at the last 5. Has he just been scoring a ton? Let's look at his points. He has, okay. That's why they like it. 4 straight games with at least 28 points. How's the shooting percentage been? It's been great. How about beyond the arc? Beyond the arc has not been as good. Well, actually, these last 2 games have been solid. So yeah, I'm going with the RA. I take that back since he's been in a little bit of a rhythm here, scoring. 28 against Portland is stout, 31 against Golden State, 37 against the Clippers, 29 against Utah is whatever. Let's zoom out a little bit more, look at the last 10. So we went through a little dip here, but yeah, I wouldn't be comfortable taking this under. I was just looking at a situation okay, he had a great game shooting the ball percentage-wise in this last outing, 47% overall and 50% from beyond the arc. So it's just an attempts thing. If he happens to decide to take, 5 more attempts and he had that kind of a shooting percentage last time, he's probably going to beat that PRA. So not going to take it. All right, not going to take it under. All right, Trey Murphy. So yeah, this is going to be the first time in a while that I pivoted off of Zion, and I'm going Trey. But it's not that Trey hasn't been playing good ball. His lines have just been a little inflated. you can see even where he's been cashing, it's like it's just a little high, you know, for him to just, it's not like a line where we're looking at the data and he's like, oh, he's been crushing this. Like, no, these are good games, but yeah, these lines have been a little bit high for him. But he has cleared this in 3 out of his last 5. And then this game against LA, one more anything, any type of stat, you name it, on offense, and he would have cashed it. The minutes have been there, 35.2 minutes a game, 8.8 rebound chances, 7 potential assists. So like, these aren't like anything to be bragging about, but 7 and 8.8 is not bad at all. And then the attempts have been solid, 48%. On 16 attempts, averaging 7.6 made buckets. He can shoot the 3 way better than this. He will be bouncing back soon, but he's still taking 8 attempts a game, averaging 1.8 made threes, but shooting just 23%. He's way better than that. Getting to the free throw line a decent amount, 4.8 attempts a game, cashing 4 made free throws a game, 83%. If we look at the matchup, 25th in points allowed to small forwards, 22nd in rebounds allowed, first in assists allowed. Now let's look at the head-to-head. So we have a clear trend here, and I know what we're thinking here, like, okay, he's never done this. But if we look at the trend, the difference to me that I noticed is like, okay, the minutes are also trending, but still it's like, okay, last time he played them, he didn't get it done, and he played 37.9 minutes. What are we talking about here? Why are we taking this play? But it comes down to the attempts. 10 attempts in these 3 head-to-heads where he was sort of trending up. So the percentage is there. So if you look at this game back here, 11 attempts, shot 45%, from beyond the arc 38%, 44%, 57% from beyond the arc, and then just overall shooting percentage 45%, 50%, 60%. So he's successful with his shots against this team, even though he's not been hitting this. But if you look at the attempts at averaging at 10, and then what he's been doing lately, because we know the minutes were kind of janky there, he's averaging 6 more attempts a game, 16 attempts a game right now. So, I mean, let's see, does that like hold true if we go back a little bit more? Yeah, 16.2 attempts. Now I know this doesn't look great, but here's the main deciding factor. He plays good at home. Look at these home games and look at the attempts, up to 16.9. So knocking on the door of 17. But that's the last 10. Let's go to the last 5. All of a sudden it starts to clean up quite a bit. 4 out of his last 5 home games, and he's averaging 18 attempts at home, shooting 41%. So we know that he shoots well against the Clippers, and in those last games where he wasn't hitting, he was taking like 10 attempts. Well, he's almost doubling that at during these home games recently. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. You guys don't have to follow, you know, the narrative that I'm seeing here. But let's turn off the home games and let's look at this note from Outlier. Oh, it's kind of pulling up what we're just looking at. Yeah, he's exceeded 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists in 4 of his last 5 games at home, averaging 32.4. So he's not crushing it, but I feel good about this. I think that he hopefully, and I think that's been kind of part of Zion slowing down a little bit too. Zion went on a burner there, and we took advantage a lot. But I'm kind of like, I want to see Zion bounce back before I jump back in there. But yeah, I mean, I think this is the game that he beats his PRA. So you guys let me know in the comments if you are worried about it. I'm going to be going ahead and taking it. But he's also averaging 38.6 minutes a game in these home games, these last 5 home games. Yeah, 18 attempts, 41%, 9.2 from beyond the arc, 26%. He's got to do better than that for sure. But he's still like throwing them up. He's taking the attempts, 9.2, not bad. 10.8 rebound chances, 6.4 potential assists. So I don't know. I just feel like this is a Trey Murphy night. All right, let's wrap this up. Let's see if Daily Grind thinks I'm crazy for not taking Zion. Okay, they like his points, assists over 24.5. If you want to take that, 51.78% odds hit the over minus 127. They like the PRA, decent amount. Oh, wait a minute. What did I get it at? Did I pay 30 for it? Okay, I paid 30 for it. Did it? I think it went down to 29.5. So jump on it. I mean, I took it over 30.5. You guys have the opportunity to take it at 29.5. Minus 124, 51.46% odds hit the over. What did I get it on Underdog? Was it 30 still? Man, I'm paying extra. You guys get the discount. That's not cool. All right, so that is cool. I want you guys to get the discount, but I'm comfortable with the 30. So if you get it at 29.5, I feel comfortable with it. 51.46% odds to hit the over. They also like his points over 20.5. They like his points rebounds. They're liking a lot of his scoring props tonight. PR, points, PRA, points assists. Anything attached to the points, they like to go over. So pick the one you want. Let me know. And also, don't forget to just, drop me some more comments about the plays you guys are excited about. You guys found, like, I literally, like, some of the plays that you guys were mentioning yesterday, I ended up throwing them into some slips. Some of them hit, some of them didn't. Overall, wasn't a good day for me. But some of the plays you guys put out hit, some of them didn't. But I really enjoy just kind of doing that research with you guys and whatnot. But all right, well, if you guys want to get on this DFS optimizer from Daily Grind, it's killer. It really helps you make decisions. Like, it even puts stuff on your radar, you know, like if you're getting a discount or if you're paying too much on the platform you're on. And you can get 25% off of this tool over at dgfantasy.com. Just use code JRUSSO, and they're going to give you 25% off for as long as you want to lock this in. And this tool is awesome. It helps you find plays. It also helps you confirm plays once you've built a narrative around them. So some of the stuff they like right now, you can get, like, these types of plays, they're on the board for like 5 minutes and then they're gone because it's just like an opening line. They realize it's too low, and then you have like a little window of time to lock it in. So they like this Sam Merrill 7.5 points rebounds. They have it at 54.16% odds to hit the over, minus 141. It's a minus 135 on BetMGM. It's all minus 145s, minus 143. So like the optimizer will put that on your radar with enough time for you to lock it in, but not enough time for me to put a video out, and then it'll probably be gone by the time you're watching this. Maybe not. Hopefully not. Hopefully you guys can lock that in if you wanted it. But that's one of the ways you can use the optimizer. It's like sharp betting, you know, like you just hop on, you look, you kind of just, sometimes it's like fishing. You're just sitting here refreshing and it auto refreshes itself. And then all of a sudden you'll just see some lines start to pop up and they're just like super green, and you go lock them in before they go away. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like getting back at the odds makers. You know, you're jumping on their mistakes. Look at this right here. Show line discrepancies. That's what they're doing. They're showing you where there's a discrepancy here. So it's a killer tool. 25% off. Jordan Poole over 29.5 PRA, 53.46% odds to hit the over. And you can see it's at 29.5. And you've got platforms bumping it up to 30.5. So it just kind of lets you know, like, hey, this is a discount. This is something you should pay attention to. Chris Dunn over 3.5 rebounds, 53.39% odds to hit the over, minus 134. So yeah, 25% off, code JRUSSO at dgfantasy.com. And then if you guys want to check out Outlier, you can try this one out for free. Don't need to put in a code, just sign up through the link below for Outlier. They cover all these different statistical categories, time frames, take players in and out of the equation, adjust minutes, and then matchups, injury reports, insights about the players. It's all here for you, and you can try it out free for a week. But that's going to do it. Small slate. Let's take advantage of it. We tend to do better on these, so let's get after it, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to comment. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so you can take advantage of those streaks plays. I'm going to put out a new one here in just a little bit. So have a good day, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.